Have you ever been shot out of a cannon?
Tonight, hitting speeds of 320 kilometers an hour in a snowmobile.
If there's a bigger one out there, we don't know where it is.
3 airports and 1 railroad service Abu Dhabi's megaport, the biggest, most expensive in the world.
Then, solving a literal cold case. The sunken ship holds the clue to solving a 500-year-old mystery. The truth will emerge here on Daily Planet.
Hello and welcome to Daily Planet. I'm Zaya Tong.
And I'm Jay Ingram. Also on the show, your feet. Super Slow-Mo Tuesday has a tip on how to put not just your best foot forward, but the best part of your foot.
And we've also got the Mind Bender. This time we're quizzing you on the top 5 big weather stories of 2010.
But first, what do you get when you combine a dragster, a studded snowmobile track, and 300 meters of ice? We took our cameras to Wisconsin to find out.
It is an animal. Have you ever been shot out of a cannon? It's a snowmobile. It's not conventional by any means, but it's a snowmobile.
Call it a snowmobile, a snow dragster, or a speed sled. Whatever you call it fast.
Boom!
Its name is Frozen Assets, and it's here at the NSSR, the National Straight Line Snowmobile Racing Championships.
There she goes.
The final event of the season. It's going for a new 1,000-foot ice track world record. The old record is 183 miles an hour. They're trying to crack the 200 mark. That's over 320 kilometers an hour.
3,000 horsepower? That's fast.
The driver is snowmobile racing legend Paul Groth. He's won many a race on these frozen tracks over the years. Just one thing. He's been retired for 15 years. Paul just turned 60. You might say Paul Groth loves to fly. He owns his own private aircraft and a pilot's license. But flying on ice is where Paul really carved out a niche for himself.
A year in Minnesota, it's 9 months of winter, and then it's 3 months of poor sledding.
Paul's snowmobile racing career really took off in the 80s and early 90s.
The first time out we set a world record was at 163 miles an hour.
173 for Paul Groth.
There is a G-force of over 2 to deal with.
I always thought it was like 3 Gs. You hit the throttle, it's G's.
He's even been inducted into the Snowmobile Hall of Fame.
I guess I live, eat, and breathe snowmobiles.
But Paul had to put his ice racing career on ice in 1996.
Racing is a tremendous drain on the pocketbook. I'm not a rich man by any means. Got a job like everybody else. This is a hobby, and hobbies always cost money. My hobbies cost a lot more money.
And when the funding ran out, it was time to quit. He had to sell off his beloved snow dragsters on eBay. But they fell into good hands in the Warning family, snowmobile collectors themselves.
Once we got hooked up with Paul, it was all over, and we had bought everything he had.
When the Warnings decided to build a new extreme racing machine, they figured Paul was the only man who was up for the ride.
They just asked me, we're putting this sled together. Would you be interested in driving? And I go, yeah.
It's the perfect collaboration. The driver, the collector, and the builder. And the result is one extreme machine.
We wanted to do something totally different outside the box.
This machine is unique in that it's driven with dual tracks, which makes it extremely hard to get a handle on handling. It has a big block Chevy with twin turbochargers and runs on alcohol and makes a lot of horsepower.
To harness that 3,000 horsepower, the tracks were specially made, complete with design studs.
Hundreds of little tiny picks going through those tracks, so they got something to grab the ice, and that's what holds us on the ground.
There are skis out front. Along with the tracks, that's what makes it a snowmobile. Well, technically, the skis rarely touch the ground.
They're a foot long. So they're token skis. They're in the air. I could do better if I had rudders on the front of this thing. I've got a pilot's license. I could fly it down the quarter mile.
The crew has been preparing Frozen Assets for the record attempt, but suspension problems are threatening to throw them off track.
The machine will not go straight, so changes to the weight balance and everything else in there, so we're hoping for the best.
It's race time. Can frozen assets crack the 200-mile-per-hour or 320-kilometer barrier?
I push my foot to the floor. And when the tach says like 2,800 RPM, I just let go and, you're gone.
First couple of runs are a bit disappointing. They get out fast, but Paul has to ease up on the throttle. The suspension problems remain.
When I let off the throttle, I can steer. That's the only time.
The crew gets back to work, getting ready for another run.
We're gonna make an adjustment to the tensioning devices and have another run.
No hero. We gotta get from A to B.
Gotcha.
Okay, here we go.
But it's obvious the suspension is still an issue. And now a new problem. A track cover was shredded by the track spikes.
All the picks caught the fender area and destroyed it. And this is racing, so.
There will be no world record today. Frozen assets topped out at 155 miles per hour, about 250 kilometers an hour. But nobody here is giving up.
Sometimes you fix one problem and you have another, but you just keep going on. And it's kind of rough sometimes, but we know we can do it. And all the people involved will not give up on this project.
These guys have worked their butts off for 2 years trying to make this thing happen. And as we all find out that it's not a real easy thing to do, if they want to continue with the project, we'll give it another shot.
This is racing fun.
Tomorrow, call in the bomb squad. Thousands of 20th century bombs threaten Warsaw's citizens daily. Military